Evening everyone. So we've just started on Beach Walk, and we're going to do one of the straightest, if not the straightest walk you can do through Winstanley. We're going to trace out the old Winstanley colliery. Can't say that word. The Winstanley colliery railway line, which started just at the end bungalow on the way up to Sycamore Drive, and it ran basically from the bungalow line all the way down to these bungalows. So not on the road, the railway line was where the bungalows are, and we will trace it out and see where it takes us. So we're just going past Jack's Park on the left. We still don't know why it's called Jack's Park, but it's labelled like that on the maps. A lot of people reckon it's named after Jack's sweet shop that used to be on the high street there at Pemberton Road. So just say hello to a few people who's watching tonight. It's our first evening walk. Sarah Frost, Sharon Cox, Elaine, how you doing? Joanne Ashcroft. Elaine says she's been here today, looking forward to this one. So as I said, the railway started up the road and ran through where these trees are, in the straightest line you'll ever see. I'll put the map on later on. Evening, Kim. So that's its starting point, just up the road, and this is probably the only zigzag that's left, but this was originally a straight line taking you all the way past the school. And you'll see in a minute the earth's been built up either side to a point for the railway line to sit on, because you can see the streets below to your left are a lot lower and the school is a lot lower as well, and that's a result of the railway line that used to run through Winstanley. So enjoy the walk, guys. I know it's a bit cold today. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to say hello in the comments, and we shall plod on. Marie says we should be looking out for rocks along the black path. There's an old glove there. Kim says she used to run down the embankment onto Pennine Avenue coming from Marrisbridge Middle School. And good evening to Jean and to Phil. If you've just tuned in, we're following the line. This is the old railway line, which is now known locally as the Black Path, which is the straightest walk in Winstanley. It cuts straight through the heart of it. So I think the line stopped being used in around about 1940s, 1944 I think was the last date I saw. But it's hard to believe that trains used to run up and down this very path only 70, 80 years ago. Ran from Winstanley Colliery number 3, which was situated at the edge there at Beach Walk, inside what we now know as the woods, where it used to be a mine. Plenty of shafts and lids to those shafts still. Discoverable in amongst the trees. You're right, Phil, I've had to jump over a few little presents from some of the dogs. They've not been picked up today, unfortunately. Thanks for the tip. Kim says she ended up on her face a few times, or on her derriere. So you can see the land's been built up either side. So this is the school playground side, and we're a good 10 feet up here, and then on the opposite side where the houses are, you can see how steep that is. But this track used to run straight through at a relatively slight gradient. It's a lot more than it used to be. This track dates back all the way down to, I think it was 1820, 1830 when it was constructed. There used to be, to the right of us, there's a street now, which I'm just looking up on the map, which is Romsey Grove, and that used to be a small wood to our right. And if we just quickly go down here, just here, there used to be a pond, quite a big one, with ducks in it. So before the shops were built, they were just open fields. The little wood used to finish just where Hamraz is, the Indian takeaway. The wood stopped there and it was just open fields. But the track continued right along where these flags are right now. And if you look ahead, you'll start to see the entrance to the Black Path, or the bridleway that takes you down the side of St Aidan's. that's where it used to continue. That's Berkeley, not Romsey. Apologies. You're absolutely right. I'm looking at my map as I'm going down here, and you can see kind of the overlay where the duck pond was. And yeah, I've got that stream mixed up. So the track continued down here. I'm just going to cross over at the lights. Continue downhill. Eventually the line comes out. Good evening, James. Eventually the line meets up with the railway that used to situate where Wigan Pier is now. There used to be an old line there that ran north to south. Elaine, the duck pond at Holmes House Farm was about 100 yards from where I live, so that's not the duck pond we're talking about. Holmes House Farm was at the top of Gayton and Overhill. We'll be doing some more bits and pieces on that particular farm and Mellings farm over the next week or two. St Aidan's field. Shame we can't go on anymore, but you can walk down the side of it. Just get down that side bit there. So again, we need to cross. This is Melrose Drive. Again, a public bridleway suitable for bikes, wheelchairs, horses, humans. Oh, there's two here. Evening. So again, if you just joined us, we are following the line of the old Winstanley colliery railway line, which is now basically a black path bridleway, taking us from Beach Walk, where it started, on the wood side of Beach Walk, where the big trees are. It started at the end bungalow, where the bungalows start, and goes in one huge straight line all the way down towards Goose Green. next to the Black Path. Thanks for that, James. But you can see how the gradient on here wasn't too steep, but it was steep enough they had to sometimes put double engines on to get uphill. Once they started using the steam engines. Originally it was just a track, but became a railway eventually. And it was a two-track railway for some part of the ascend, and then further down towards the right, I'll point it out in a moment, there was they were called the Winstanley sidings, where they sometimes took some of the produce off for local use, and continued on to the major railway network for use around the northwest and further along, I suppose. So the actual railway network in Winstanley, just give you a little bit of a shot of what it used to look like. So that's Blundell Wood at the bottom, and you can see the railway network through Highfield, Pemberton. Many moons ago was quite extensive. Yeah, the community centre used to be on the right, further up that way. We've passed it now. The community centre closed down, I think, mid-90s, maybe even earlier. They used to have various clubs and community fun days and things like that. I remember winning a, I don't know what it was, I think it was a dog race with my grandparents' dog Cassie, which is a border collie, and I got first place in the race, I suppose. Still got the medal somewhere. Evening, Brian, thanks for joining us. So again, a few people have asked for a wheelchair / pram friendly walk. Well, starting from either the shops or the poacher, you can walk around the outside of the estate, I suppose, up towards Pemberton Road. Take a left up to Tanhouse Lane, that'll bring you onto Beach Walk, and you'll see the Black Path start there. And you can work your way all the way down and come back up the main road, up Highfield Grange Avenue. We're going to go across country in a minute. I'll just show you where this brings you out. The community centre closed around about 2005-06. Are you sure? I thought it was a lot earlier than that. I'm sure it closed when I was a wee nipper in my early teens. Unless it reopened again, but I remember the Scout Hut still being open, but not the community centre. So that is the old Black Path, or the old Winstanley railway line, the colliery railway line. Down car is in the centre is Clapgate Lane. So we're going to walk or retrace a few of our steps and go onto the open field at the back, which leads us onto Blundell's Wood and back onto the estate. So all the way along on the right hand side now of the path are little entrances. We're going to take the first one. I think we're just in time for sunset, I think. Blimey, it's only been about, I'd say, a week since I was last here, and the reed bed has grown massively. I bet it's grown about 4 foot. That's all that is. It's huge. So we're just working our way up. There's a raised portion of the open field. And you can see to our left the stretch of trees which encase that black path that we've just been down. That takes us to the end of the Winstanley railway line. It's a beautiful evening. The sun's just going down behind the trees. The woods to the right, these woods here, Gemma is asking. So these are Blundell's Woods. We've done plenty of walks over the past couple of weeks, featuring different ways you can go through these woods. So Blundell's Woods backs onto Ravenswood Avenue, starts at Pony Dick. You can cut through to Foundry Lane in Highfield and goes all the way in that direction to the end of it, which is where the new estate is, the new commercial estate at the back of Goose Green. We'll be doing some bits and pieces on the Blundell family next week, starting with, I've been asked by the chairman of Highfield Cricket Club, Gary Speakman, to do a feature on the history of the club, where he's allowed us access onto the field and into the archives of the club to show you some of the history. The land was donated by Blundell, Major Blundell, to the church. Obviously the church was built in memory of his wife Beatrice, but we'll get into all that next week. But we'll finish off with a quick walk through the woods, bringing us out onto Ravenswood Avenue in a second. Might get a bit dark because the sun's going down now, so look out for that one next week. So if you are watching and you're a new member of the Winstanley Walks group, just to go over a few fine points about what's going on here exactly. So the group started 21 days ago now, and this is the 20th walk. We do a daily walk which we live stream. Sometimes you have commentary, sometimes it's a walk in silence, just taking in the ambient sounds, and usually there's a little bird song, especially when you go through the woods. The walks are live streamed and designed to give those who are self-isolating, not able to get out the house, or even if you don't know the area, it's an opportunity basically to see the big wide world, or at least the big wide world of Winstanley, from the comfort of your own home. Once the live stream's finished, we publish the map of where we've been, and we also publish it onto YouTube, so you can see the walks on a television using a smart TV on the YouTube channel. To find it on YouTube, just type in Winstanley Walks, and you'll see we're currently up to walk number 19. Since the group started, we've had bouts of posts from you guys, which is fantastic. Pictures of the local area, old and new. The old stuff, history-wise, has been really insightful from a lot of contributors. I started a thread a couple of days into the group and kind of spiralled into a history frenzy about the area. And there's some really great stories and some really great facts about the area which are worth looking into, so we'll continue doing that. And to find all that information, at the top of the group page there's now a series of topics where you can click on, say, the history topic, and that will just show you all the history posts about the area. or you can click on the walks topic and that will show you all the live walks, the maps, the YouTube links. There's also one for members' photos. Click on that and you can see photographs of the area. There's some other ones as well talking about the purpose of the group. But it's amazing, I think we're just shy of 800 members in 20 days. So I really appreciate everyone's comments, likes and shares for the group. It's an open group, anybody can join. And it's great that it seems like the community's pulling together and doing a lot of reminiscing and a lot of new walks to be found. I've certainly found some new places, so that's really good. But yeah, today's walk started off at Beach Walk, just off Tanhouse Lane, and we followed and traced out the Winstanley Colliery Railway from the colliery number 3 past colliery number 2, down past Winstanley shops and primary school, across the road down St Aidan's, all the way down to almost Clapgate Lane, and that's the straightest line you can walk in the area. It's now known as the Black Path or the Bridle Way, but yeah, a decent walk. I don't know how far I've done yet, but I'll be putting the map up afterwards. You can have a look at it. But for now, from me, from a freshly shaven face, we will see you tomorrow for another walk. Okay guys, thanks again, bye for now.